I'm Coming for You First by Jay Wilburn. Kind of a crime fiction thing here. And I think I went a little over the top on a few of the points, and I want to pull that back to ground the story a little more because I think it benefits from being a little less than what I put into it, I think, but we'll see. May take me a couple edits to get that balance right. I'm Coming for You First by Jay Wilburn. When Alton and Elroy failed to answer their phones, Teddy decided to get everyone out of the apartment before they were all dead. Angela, we're going right now. Pack a bag for you and Javi. Only the important stuff. Only what you need to survive. Only. What are you talking about? Why are you yelling, Teddy? Calm down before you freak out Javi and tell me what's going on. Let me take out the and here. Tell me what's going on. Situation like that, you'd have more clipped sentences than you would compound sentences. I'm trying to tell you. He pocketed his phone and ran to the window. Pulling back the corner of the drape just a little, he wished the lights behind him were out. The street lights? Do the street lights compound? I don't want to... Well, there you go. Street lights is compound too. I need to change that all through the story. The street lights were dim and the block looked empty. Other lights were on in various floors of the other buildings. The flicker of the TVs danced. Let me make that televisions. No, TVs is fine. The flicker of TVs danced on the glass in some of those rooms. No traffic on the street, though, foot or otherwise. Still, he saw only dander. Yeah, he sees dander like a cat. Come on now. That would be a different story, wouldn't it? Still, he saw only danger and death out there. Get packed and get moving. You can argue with me once we're on the road, but not a second sooner. Teddy, you're scaring me. Let's see. You should be scared. We're in danger. I have no time to explain. Just pack, pack, pack. Please, baby, just do what I ask and trust that I'm trying to keep you and your boy safe. Teddy. She looked so lost, looked so untrusting of him. If she had any idea what prompted the note he had just opened, she'd know he wasn't... Oh, that needs to be she'd. Okay. She'd know he wasn't a man to be trusted. Ever. Okay. Angela, you'll have to trust me for now. I can explain later, but there's no time now. Please just pack and do it as quickly as you possibly can. She hesitated only a moment longer and then turned into a run back through the hallway. She called over her shoulder as she went. Pack for how long? Okay. He knew the answer was a very long time unless they took too long in here, and then it might not matter for any of them. If he told her that, she'd pack a lot more, and every extra second might be the difference between life and old vengeance. He had carried this damn note with him most of the day. It had to already be too late, didn't it? All right. That sounds good. Just enough for a night or two. If we're out any longer, we can buy what we need. Mom, Teddy hoped there wouldn't be a long process of convincing the boy too. Javi, pack a bag, just one bag. Your two favorite outfits, right down to underwear and socks for 2 days. One warm, one cool. If you want some toys, just what can fit in the bag. Why, Mom? No why, just do it. Do I need my school stuff? Not this time. Hurry, and all questions are for after. She did a better job of handling the orders than he had, and let me put a comma there, and she truly had no idea how deep the peril really was. Teddy wondered if maybe he shouldn't go without them. It was possible that the threat was very specific to him, and they had nothing to do with the plan to take Teddy out first, like the note said. Like the note, let's say, threatened. He doubted it, though. They might use Angela and the kid for bait, maybe torture them too, but the reality was that whoever went to the trouble to let Teddy know they were coming would hurt anyone he loved, because that's what he did to them. He had some guesses of who might have sent the note and who might also have the resources to carry this out, but his best guess was that he had no idea. He'd probably find out when they finally got hold of him and made good on their threat. His phone vibrated in his hand, and he choked on his own spit. All right. After a fit of coughing that turned into gagging, he finally got it under control and answered, "Hello, hello, hello. Are you okay, Teddy? Is that you? Tell me. Who is this?" Teddy demanded. "Who are you? Where's Teddy?" Then it hit him. "Connor? Yes, it's me. Teddy? Why are you calling, man? You sound bad. Did they get to you? How do you know about that? Who is it?" "I can probably guess, but I don't know who they would have... I can probably guess, but I don't know how they would have figured out it was us." Then Teddy had another revelation. Fear was really sharpening his thoughts for the first time in years. Someone must have talked. Why did you call, Connor? Who would have talked? Something crashed down the hall, and Teddy prepared to run. For a second, he wasn't sure if he was running to them or out the door away from whatever might have gotten them. Then Angela called, "That was me, sorry." "Please hurry," he called back. He remembered he needed to be packing himself, too. He ran to the corner of the living room that served as his office. "Teddy." Connor's voice was loud enough to carry from where Teddy held the phone down by his side. "Sorry, Connor, what is it?" "You said you thought someone talked. Why? Who? Why?" "Could have been a drunken confession, could have been guilt, who knows? At this point, who cares?" "I care a lot, man. We're in trouble." "Tell me how you knew. Tell me how you knew to call me tonight, Connor." Teddy flipped his rolling chair to its side to get at the bag behind the desk. "I got a note, same as you, I guess." Teddy paused with the tote bag straps in his fist. Let's say in one fist. "What note? What did it say?" "It said we were all dead." "I got one too, obviously. What did yours say?" "I'm coming for you first." For some reason, Teddy couldn't bring himself to say that out loud. "Pretty much the same as yours." "Where are you headed?" "Never mind. Don't answer that over the phone." "I wouldn't dream of it." Teddy hauled the bag out of its hiding spot and cast thick balls of dust onto the carpet. It had been a long time since he'd touched this, and he would have... let me put a comma there. And he would have been happy to forget it ever existed. He had no clothes or toiletries in here. He had no intention of packing anything else. If he lived through tonight, everything else could be bought tomorrow or the day after. "They got Alton," Connor said. "What?" Teddy shook all over. He reached for where the back of his rolling chair should have been, but it wasn't there. He caught the edge of the desk instead and managed to remain upright. "What did you say?" "Alton, strangled, I think." "Isn't that something? Maybe they planned to do that to each of us. His note said they were going for him first, so I guess they're done with that and coming for the rest of us now. Makes sense Alton would have been first after he was on that. Don't say it over the phone, Connor." "All right." "No, right, you're right. We should probably hang up in case they're tracking where we're all driving." "I'm about to get on the road myself," Teddy said. "You're not rolling yet? What are you thinking? Get the hell out of there right now." "I'm trying. Have you heard from the others?" "You're the first one to answer, man. Get going." Connor hung up. Teddy held the phone stupid for a while longer. Angela ran into the living room with a bright pink bag bulging at the side. She dropped it on the couch and said, "I swept your toiletries and some clothes into my bag. I didn't know you had one already." Teddy looked down at the dusty thing beside him. "No, this is something else. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for trusting me. Where's Javi?" "Getting him now." She hesitated again. He could almost see the questions just inside the tight line of her lips. She had a right to ask, and he was so floored by the news of Alton that he'd probably just answer her at this point. But she didn't ask. She went back up the hall for Javi. It didn't make sense that Alton got the same note as him. They couldn't both be first. Alton clearly preceded him to death, but by how much? And why was Connor's note different? Why was it broader? Why was any of this happening? That last one he could answer even if he wanted to forget about all of it. They probably even deserved it, but that still didn't make it okay. It still wasn't a reason to bring Angela or a kid into it, although he understood that being part of the vengeance. Teddy couldn't remember if Alton had somebody. He wished he'd asked Connor how he found out about Alton already being dead, strangled. He considered calling him back. The phone vibrated again, and Teddy answered. Connor? No, Teddy, this is Stacy. Stacy, I just heard from Connor about Alton. I assume you know what's going on. What happened to Alton? Did they get him too? Two? Who else? Only Elroy that I know of. He was drowned in the tub, and they opened his throat. Jesus, Stacy, Connor told me Alton was strangled. Teddy realized now why Alton and Elroy hadn't answered, let's say, his earlier calls. Sorry if this is getting too bloody for anybody. Teddy realized now why Alton and Elroy hadn't answered his earlier calls. All right. So Connor is alive so far. I guess you guys got notes too. What did yours say? That I'd be last. No, what would they? That they're saving me for last. That's more sinister. All right, Teddy prepared to lie about his note, but she didn't ask. Instead, she said, they got his wife and their girls, all of them. They did horrible stuff, probably right in front of Elroy before they did him. How do you know this? I'm friends with his cousin, and then I saw the details online. The ones they released, anyway. His cousin said he was rushing his family out the door, and whoever it was swept them back inside. The neighbors saw and even called the cops. Good response time, but they were gone, and it was all done by the time they got there. My God, Teddy rubbed at his mouth. Well, Connor got on the road. Have you not left yet? I'm trying, my girlfriend and her kid, trying to get them out the door. Oh God, Teddy, keep your eyes open. Make sure the way is clear. You don't want to end up like Elroy. I will. Be careful. I mean, not end up like Elroy. I hope. Make sure they got Elroy and Alton. They got Elroy as he was leaving, and that was in daylight almost an hour ago. Teddy tried to remember what time zone Elroy was in. He hadn't kept up with any of them that closely. Forgetting what happened for him had included keeping the rest of them distant. He cursed himself for not opening the note sooner. They could have been farther. They could have been farther away than Connor at this point. All right. I have to let you go, Stacy. Be safe. He hung up without waiting for a response. Angela, please, we got to go. Just a minute, we're hurrying. He rolled his eyes as he dropped his dusty bag next to hers. I forgot to grab the credit cards, she added. Bring them quick, but we're not going to use them for a while. I don't get paid until Friday, maybe not at all if I lose my job. Are you sure about this? Yes. He realized he had barely breathed out the word, so he called louder for her to hear him. Yes. What are we going to do for money? Why was she asking questions across the apartment instead of moving along? Let me put a question mark there. Did she want to lose her son? See him die in front of her at the hands of someone expert in pain and death? He almost yelled something to that effect at her, but instead he answered, I have money we can pick up from certain places. There'll be more than enough. Don't worry about your check. Don't worry about your job right now. Just worry about getting us out of here before... Just come on as quick as you can. We should already be gone. What money? What? I said, what money? How do you have money sitting somewhere when I'm counting pennies to get groceries and the power paid? What money is this? Even as he wanted to save her life, he now wanted to shake her too. It was a valid question. Money had gotten tight more than once. It was usually her who put in extra hours to make up the difference. It was a valid question, but that just made him more angry. It should be angrier, right? Yep. That just made him angrier with all their lives on the line. He said, it was money for a situation like this, not for monthly stuff. You'll be glad it was still there once we're on the road, but I swear to God, Angela, if we don't get out of here soon, it might be too late. What does that mean? You know what it means. It means stop yelling questions and get out here. Teddy turned off the living room light. More light still spilled from the kitchen in the hall. He parted the curtain and looked out again. This time 3 cars sat nose to bumper across the street and about half a block down. It didn't look like anyone was in them, but it was dark. They were also parked beyond the reach of the working streetlights. Well, now, streetlights is one word, but it didn't prompt me here. All right, Teddy told himself he might have missed it. He might have missed it. All right, I have N here. He might have missed it, his first quick glance there in the shadows. He also told himself that wasn't the case and that no one would park in the dark on the street in this neighborhood. Closer to their building, 2 figures also hidden in the dark stood, let's say partially hidden in the dark, stood together as if talking or waiting. The ember of a cigarette flared but failed to light up the face. Teddy, he stumbled backward from the curtain and let out a little squeak. Javi stood rubbing his eyes with the back of the hand not held by his mother. Teddy said nothing and just stared at the boy. Are we ready to go, Teddy? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? You just got through. He held up his hands, and so unlike herself, she stopped talking. That's when he spied the real terror in her eyes. He had put that fear there. Sure, he could blame it on the others who wrote the notes and started picking them off one by one. But in reality, he knew this was all his doing. There's someone outside. Her eyes widened more, because her eyes are already wide, right? Her eyes widened more. She glanced down at her son, who wasn't really attuning to anything going on right now. Who, Teddy? I don't know. It may be no one. But I'm sorry, Angela. It may be someone, and if this is, I don't know exactly who they are or what they might be capable of. He had a pretty good idea what they were capable of. If Connor and Stacy were to be believed. She met his eyes, and he saw something different there, something that added to his fear and forced him back a couple steps, almost to the window again. She followed up the look by saying, "But you know why, don't you? You know why we are in danger, why my son is in danger. I don't know what I don't know what I was doing there. I don't want to know, so don't tell me." Good grief. I really messed up that dialogue. So don't tell me, but I want you to tell me you know how to keep us safe. Excuse me again, sorry. Okay. We need to leave. We probably should have left faster. Then let's leave. We're not going out front anyway. We're going back to parking, and then you can drive us wherever we need to go as fast as we need to get there, Teddy. I don't know. Even with her in the living room staring right at him with that dark determination, he wasn't sure he spoke loud enough for her to hear. Are they back there too? I don't know. He was a little louder this time, but not by much. Now Javi had picked up that the adults were distressed, and he looked back and forth between them, searching for an answer. What are you going to do to keep us safe? Teddy swallowed twice. I'm going for the car. Lock the door and call the police. Tell them I did something terrible, but you don't know what. You just know you're in danger because of it. Tell them to come right now. I'll make a run for it, and maybe this won't fall back on you. Not good enough, Teddy. What? All right, so I need to make that not a question. And then Teddy asks, what? You're afraid to take us out of the apartment. You're afraid to leave us here alone. That's no plan. Try again. Mommy, I'm scared. Enough, boy, quiet. Adults are talking. Angela, I don't. Enough of that, Teddy. We're safe for together. We just have to get away from here. So how? Okay, Angela, same plan. Be ready at the door, but keep it locked. I'll go for the car. I'll bring it around. If I don't call in 5 minutes to tell you to come on or that something went wrong, then you call the cops and tell them someone is trying to... She held up one hand and waved. I got it. Are you going now? He went in and kissed her hard. He patted Javi's head and passed by quickly, almost feeling guilty for doing that much. He took up his own heavy bag, even though it might slow him down, and carried it to the door. He stared through the peephole and tried to see around the corners, even though he knew that was foolish. Okay, close it behind me. I know what to do. Just hurry and be sure to call. Now she was the one rushing him. Teddy burst out the door, ready to fight, but found the hall empty. The door stayed open. Close it, Angela. No, we're coming. What? No. This is all a waste of time. Don't argue. Just move. Javi? I got him. Can you carry one more bag? Let me put her back in here, she asked. When you can avoid dialogue tags, it's best, but sometimes it helps to remind people who's talking at any particular moment. He didn't answer, but she handed off her pink bag. As she shouldered Javi's pack. He was too big for it, but she brought the boy up onto her hip as she locked the apartment. They moved together down the hall. His phone vibrated in his hand, reminding him he was still holding it. Now wasn't the time to answer, but he did anyway. Hello? Teddy? Who is this? His words wavered as he jogged his heart rate up even higher than it already was just from fear. Blake, it's Blake, Teddy. Well, that completed the group. It looked like Alton and Elroy were the only dead so far. I can't talk. We're just moving now. They got Connor. He called me. All right. Saying they were tailing him. Let's say his phone stayed on as they ran him off the road. They said they were coming for me next. I don't think they knew I was still on the line. All right. They're outside, I think, Teddy. I think I see them in their cars. It's too late for us to get away. I'm sorry, Blake. I really am. Okay. They mentioned you too. I didn't hear all they said, but I heard your name. think I heard your address. Teddy stopped shy of the stairwell, but Angela kept going with Javi and got there first. What are you saying, Blake? They got us all. There's no getting away from this. It finally caught up to all of us. What we did, now we're going to pay for it. What did they say exactly, Blake? About me? What did you hear? I'm sorry, Teddy. Angela opened the stairwell and let out a little squeak of fright. Teddy dropped the phone and ran for her, knowing it was already too late. Mr. Gower, from down the hall, stepped aside and said, "Sorry, Angela. Sorry, Javi. Didn't mean to startle you, just coming late." "That's all right," she said, with more composure than Teddy thought he could muster. "Sorry to rush, Mr. Gower, but we have to go." He hustled his girlfriend down the stairs, holding her shoulder to help her keep her balance with Javi in her arms. "Your phone," Mr. Gower called after them. "I think one of you dropped your phone." "That's fine," Teddy said as they kept going. It was only giving them bad news anyway. They burst out into the parking area. Say the full parking area. The night was cool. My bugs still buzzed. Alright, let me take an extra G off of bugs. Bugs still buzzed all around. The security lights buzzed too. Angela was the one who pulled him along, as they made their way to the car. He wished he had parked closer tonight. Teddy struggled to get the keys out of his pocket and then to open the doors. Just be calm and get them open. Angela said quietly. She didn't sound calm, though. I'm scared. Scared, Mommy. It'll be fine. Just be still and good. Teddy heard the footsteps. A lot of them. He got the doors. Let me make that a new paragraph. We're on the home stretch here. I'm almost done. He got the doors open and then whirled about to face his fate. He saw no one, though. He was sure he heard the approaching steps, but now... Alright, let me fix heard here. Sure, he heard the approaching steps, but now there was no one to go with them. Teddy started the car, pulled out of the space with his head on a swivel as Angela got Javi strapped in on the move and shoved all 3 bags into the seat beside her boy. As he pulled out of parking, I got 2 ofs there. Let me fix that real quick. As he pulled out of parking and bounded into his lane on the side street, Teddy thought maybe he should warn her not to jostle that bag too much. But what difference did it make now? He drove them through the city toward the interstate, well above the speed limit. He almost hoped they'd get pulled over. Tonight was a night he might welcome police attention. To her credit, Angela just put on her seatbelt and let him drive without questions. Teddy reached for his phone 3 times on their way to the highway. I'm almost done with this. Teddy reached for his phone 3 times on his way to the highway. Of course, he'd left it behind. Tonight was all bad news with it or without it. All right, there we go.